Hello viewers, welcome to the session. In the previous session we have discussed the speech sounds of English language, vowels and consonants, and we have come to know the features of the speech sounds in detail. In today's session we are working upon the sound system at a higher level, means which comes next to the vowels and consonants. So here we are going to work upon the concept of syllable. So what is a syllable? A syllable is made up of a vowel sound which is obligatory and or consonant speech sounds. We can take a longer utterance like opportunity. Try to pronounce it slowly. Opportunity, opportunity. So you can see the breaks. Opportunity, opportunity. So this longer utterance is in 5 segments, or it has 5 syllables. Opportunity, opportunity. So a syllable contains a vowel sound which is obligatory, and consonantal sounds may precede or follow or both in a syllable. For example, you can take a word go, in which the consonantal sound is followed by a vowel sound. So the syllable structure is CV and on VC. V stands for vowel sound and C is consonantal sound, and bit CVC and a go vowel, consonant and vowel. And here city, 2 syllables, city, street, CCCV. That means in this syllable the vowel is preceded by 3 consonantal sounds and followed by 1 consonantal sound, and next CV, CCC, and farmer, farmer, and cinema, cinema, cinema. It is very easy to identify the number of syllables in a longer utterance. You can say discipline, discipline, discipline. Examination, you can say examination, examination. Contemplate, contemplate, contemplate. Confusion, confusion, confusion. And most of the Indian languages are syllable timed languages. That means all the syllables are equally prominent in Indian languages. And whereas when you come to English, it is a totally different case. If a word has 2 syllables, by default, 1 syllable becomes strong and the second one becomes weak. And the strength of the syllable is assessed in terms of force. Consider a word like object. You can see object, object. The first syllable has prominence, it has extra force and full vowel quality. And ject, this is unstressed. So here we can come to the notion stress. Stress is the force imposed on a syllable. In connected speech, we observe all the syllables are not equally prominent. Some syllables are uttered with extra force. We have already said it is stress. And a stressed syllable is perceived in terms of extra breath force and full vowel quality. In a disyllabic word, we can observe this. Paper. You can see the first syllable is stressed. Paper, paper, and about, about. The second syllable is stressed. And in polysyllabic words, words with more than 3 syllables, we can observe primary stress as well as secondary stress. The syllable that has primary stress has extra breath force and full vowel quality, whereas the syllable with secondary stress has vowel quality. Examination, examination, examination. You can see the stress syllable is nei, that receives primary stress. At the same time, the first one, it has full vowel quality, and the stress is marked with the upper vertical line, primary stress, and the secondary stress is marked by lower vertical line. And functional stress. There are a number of disyllabic words in English in which word stress depends on their function. That means, and when they function as verbs, the stress is on the second syllable. Consider the examples. Absent, absent, conduct, conduct, desert, desert, object, object, permit, permit, produce, produce. So this is an example for functional stress. We can see the stress is on the first syllable when the word is used as noun or adjective, and the stress is on the second syllable when the word functions as a verb. And stress is in compound words. A compound word is made of 2 or more root words. For example, blackboard, tablecloth, cardboard, footprint, hairbrush. Mostly the first element in the compound word receives the primary stress. You know, blackbird, the first element black receives the primary stress, and cardboard, footprint, hairbrush. Consider these examples. Myself, herself, himself, themselves, however, wherever, whenever, and whoever. And these words, mountaineer, engineer. So words that end with the suffix near receives stress on the suffix itself. Mountaineer, engineer, 𝗓𝗍, refugee. There are some derivational suffixes in English language that cause stress shift. We all know that there are some derivational suffixes that cause stress shift. And sometimes these suffixes determine the place of stress. The words end with shun, TION or SION, have stress on the penultimate syllable, like examination, complication, determination. And words that end with the suffix ty, that are stress on the antepenultimate syllable. Ability, compatibility, possibility. And here you can see the example: diplomat, diplomacy, diplomatic. Photograph, photographer, photographic. Politics, political, politician. So, stress in words is not fixed. In most cases, derivational suffixes affect the stress. And sometimes stress determines the meaning in connected speech. For example, we can utter a sentence and we can give different meanings by applying stress on a particular syllable. For example, John is coming tomorrow. It is a normal statement. John is coming tomorrow. If you change it, John is coming tomorrow, he is not going. And if we say, John is coming tomorrow, not Mary. So, the place, the location of the stress affects the meaning also. And connected speech refers to the string of words in an utterance. The occurrence of stressed and unstressed syllables at regular intervals make the rhythm of speech. Consider these examples. Meet me at 10. I want you to go. 5 5s are 25. Take the dog for a walk. Turn to your left. And the other aspect of speech is intonation. Stress, rhythm and intonation are suprasegmental features because they are imposed or superimposed on the syllables beyond the speech level, speech sound level. So, we call them suprasegmental features, and sometimes stress affects the meaning, as we have already said, in sentences, and intonation refers to voice modulation. It refers to the variation of the pitch. So, if you keep saying a word continuously, what happens? For example, take a word like pen. If you keep repeating it, pen, 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 pen. What exactly is happening? The pitch is fluctuating. It is going up and coming down, going up and coming down. So, it is very natural human phenomenon, the pitch variation, which causes intonation. So, in English speech, we have identified 4 prominent tonal variations. We call the rising tone, the falling tone, the fall rise and the rise fall. And in English language, tone is functional as well as attitudinal. There are some languages where tone is lexical. That means tone changes the meaning. Languages like Mandarin and Cantonese, they have lexical tone. That means the tone changes the meaning of the word. But whereas in English, intonation is functional as well as attitudinal. So, for a small example, if somebody says good morning, it is very neutral. Or somebody says good morning, it is uninterested. Or somebody says good morning, sarcastic. And somebody says good morning, very surprised or with highly enthusiasm. So, tone gives us the context and tone implies the meaning in utterances. So, the first is the falling tone. We can say the low fall. The low fall is used in statements when something is uninterested. Where are you going? Home. So, you see, where are you going? Home. It's low fall. And expressing agreement in question tags. He is coming, isn't he? So, we are expecting agreement. And in commands and requests, in something is neutral, show them, go straight and turn right. So, these are the examples for low fall. And when you say high fall in statements refers to strong agreement. I never come again. Here, I never come again. It is determined he will not come again. A strong agreement. And sometimes in question tags, if you use a high fall, demanding agreement. He is coming, isn't he? So, we are demanding agreement. Contrastively, he is coming isn't he? It is expecting agreement. And in WH questions, a surprise. Why didn't you go there? The high fall in WH question refers to surprise. Why didn't you go there? And the other one is the rising tone. The low rise in statements is encouraging. Go on, keep it up, and asking for information. He is coming, isn't he? Commands and requests with low rise. Sit there, take this. And the high rise usually associated with questions. Within, do you want to buy this one? It shows enthusiasm. Toast? Did you say toast? Where? Chennai? Disbelief. We use rising tone when we count things 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The last one takes the falling tone. For example, Ramesh, Suresh, Dinesh and Mohan are friends. And the fall rise. Fall rise is always doubtful. Do you play cricket? Sometimes. I met you last month. Doubtful. He is very clever, but not friendly. It is implied. So a statement with the fall rise is always gap filler. And the rise fall, it is used in very restricted context when something is highly enthusiastic or even sarcastic. It's really wonderful, enthusiastic agreement. And in sarcastic, how interesting, it is sarcastic. The occurrence of stressed and unstressed syllables at regular intervals cause rhythm of English language. And rhythm is very important in connected speech. When we make longer utterances, rhythm plays a very important role in making our language quite natural. And rhythm in poetry is very important. And we have come across so many nursery rhymes where rhythm adds music to rhymes. So this is a very, very simple rhyme we studied in our childhood days. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. If you add music to this, Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. It's a wonderful rhyme, and if you give music, it becomes very live. And in poetry, metrical patterns when you come across, and the occurrence of stressed and unstressed syllables cause meter. We have metrical patterns like iambic, dactyl, pyrihic, and anapest. These are metrical patterns in poetry. And here, let us take a simple poem, A Nation's Strength. Try to give music to this poem. So see how words are stressed. Not gold, but only men can make a people great and strong, men who for truth and honor's sake stand fast and suffer long. Brave men who work while others sleep, who dare while others fly. They build a nation's pillars deep and lift them to the sky. So you can underline the stressed syllables, not gold, but only men can make. You can see in this line, gold, men make. These words are stressed. A people great and strong. People great and strong are stressed. Men who for truth and honor's sake. Men, truth, honor, sake. These are stressed. Stand fast and suffer long. Stand fast, suffer long. These words are stressed. Brave men who work while others sleep. Brave men who work while others sleep. These words are stressed. Who dare while others fly. Dare and fly. They build a nation's pillars deep. They build nation pillars deep and lift them to the sky. Lift them to the sky. These words are stressed. And you can give music to this poem. A Nation's Strength is a wonderful poem that you find in Class 6 English Reader. So, where we can add music, not gold, but only men can make a people great and strong. Men who for truth and honor's sake stand fast and suffer long. Brave men who work while others sleep. Who dare while others fly. They build a nation's pillars deep and lift them to the sky. So dear viewers, in this session we have worked upon the elements of speech sounds at a higher level. Syllable. We have come to know that a syllable is the unit next to the speech sounds, and a syllable is made of vowel element which is compulsory or obligatory, and consonant sounds, they are optional. And you can identify the number of syllables in an utterance just by pronouncing it slowly, and we can identify how we can break the word, and each unit functions as a syllable. And next is, English is a stress-timed language. That means in English language, stress occurs at regular intervals. Unlike Indian languages, most of the Indian languages are syllable-timed languages. That means all syllables are equally prominent. But in English, stress plays an important role in giving rhythm to the language. And in words with more than one syllable, if one syllable is stressed, the adjacent next syllable becomes weak. The stressed syllable is realized in terms of breath force and vowel quality. So in unstressed syllable, there is no breath force, and sometimes the vowel is reduced. Next, we have worked with intonation. Intonation refers to pitch variation, and we have worked upon the levels of intonation: the rising tone with low rise and high rise, the falling tone, the low fall and high fall, the fall rise and rise fall, and the rhythm in English poetry that gives the metrical patterns of poems. And intonation is sometimes attitudinal, sometimes enthusiastic, sarcastic, emotional, and sometimes we demand agreement using a particular tone. And stress and intonation in poetry gives music. Dear viewers, in the series of programs, we have worked with the phonetics of English language. In the first session, we have worked with the speech sounds, the consonants and vowels, and the distribution of consonants and vowels in words, and how these sounds occur: word initial, medial, and word final position. And we have worked with many examples of vowels and consonant or speech sounds. And in this session, we have worked with the notion of syllable. For the syllable, the nucleus or the key element is the vowel. and the consonantal sounds may either or precede or follow or both the vowel sound in a syllable. And stress, the use of stress is very important, and sometimes the stress is fixed. Stress is determined by the suffixes, stress is determined by the function of the word, and in connected speech, stress plays a major role. Stress gives the meaning or the attitude, it tells about the attitude of the speaker by shifting the stress. And the pitch variation, it also explains the mood of the speaker, and stress, rhythm and intonation in poetry makes it quite natural and lively.